Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 14, round number 20 of the championship here for the Mexican Grand Prix here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I'm your host, Zach RC, bringing you through all the action tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome, for the first time in the RDL, someone new to the commentary booth. Please welcome the Season 11 Racers Driving League champion, Touch Me Pope. How you doing, mate?
Hey, thank you for having me here. It's obviously different to what I'm normally used to be doing. I'm normally in one of those pit boxes right now, but I'm excited to get a bird's eye view of this race and join you in commentary.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on here as well. So yeah, looking towards the Grand Prix tonight. Only a few more rounds left to go in the championship as it stands. Grumio leads by 35 points over your former teammate, Che Oliver. Do you still think he has a chance in the championship? I mean, he's not here tonight, but is he still with a shot?
Sadly, he's not here tonight. I mean, I would have always backed Che, but I think 6 races to go now. I feel like 34 points, especially in who you're racing against, Blaze, so competitive, always there. P1 or P2, I think it's slipping a little bit away. However, I do want to say Che can still win it for us.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of your replacement for the remainder of the season, do we have any ideas in terms of a permanent replacement?
Pretty certain it is Sniper Hunter, someone I've raced quite a few times and have a love-hate relationship. I think the guy's fantastic. However, sometimes he gets a bit too big for his boots. However, he's a great driver, and I do wish him all the best in my seat.
Oh yeah, we'll have to see how he gets on tonight. Right, in terms of qualifying then, Ethan the Red Bull on his way round to begin the first flying lap. Pope, I'm going to give you a challenge here in your first night. Can you able to give our viewers a rundown of the Mexican circuit on board with Ethan?
Happily do that. So coming out of turn 17 here, foot to the floor, using all that downforce to make your way onto a very, very, very long straight. DRS open wide now. Turn 1, very hard braking zone, so you're already preparing for that corner. And then you can't bear in mind it is a chicane. So 1, 2 and 3 come at you so quickly. Using all the track going into turn 1, hits that apex fantastic and hits the other one there. Some people ride a curb in turn 2 and both in turn 3. However, this year's cars, the underfloor does kind of bounce and it is a bit unpredictable. DRS into turn 5, I want to say this is, hitting this lovely section. You can see all the fans cheering you guys on, it's fantastic. Ethan doing what I do, using all the track, making sure both 2 tyres on the left hand side off the circuit and coming into the very, very tricky S section as the tyres wear on through this qualifying lap, probably going to around 98 degrees. It is very hard to keep your foot to the floor, but you have to do it best you can. Open up the last DRS zone for this lap. Coming into the braking section for the stadium circuit, something that always gets you excited in the last few laps when the flares go up. But Ethan has hit a very, very comfortable lap here for his first banker lap. And coming out of 16, 17, foot to the floor, takes it wide, and obviously that's provisional pole with a 16.6. Very good lap there by Ethan.
That was a fantastic rundown of the circuit for us, Pope, there. So well done. I always try to challenge our co-coms on the first night in the league. So Prolol immediately goes faster than Ethan there, 1 minute 16.1 on the charts. PJ going third, a few seconds off of those guys, because Alfa Romeo not the best of campaigns so far for them this season, but PJ 69 points on the board, 11th place in the championship. Of course, Pope is still, I believe you're still there on the tally according to the spreadsheet I've got on my screen here. Grumio goes fastest in the Aston Martin on the medium tyres, not by much, but close enough. The championship leader on form once again tonight.
Yeah, I think obviously with the medium tyres as well, I think you're looking at like a 6 to 8 tenth difference. So I think we're expecting probably Grumio's pole lap to probably be second above Prolol, but you've still got other competitive drivers. And as well, I want to make mention to Evil Scotsman, who was racing in the league when I first joined. So it's nice to see him back, very old timer of RDL, and I think this is his first race back in about 4 seasons, if I'm correct.
Wow, so yeah, we'll see how he gets on with the field compared to tonight. Huggy Bear, we did miss it during going through Ethan's lap. Huggy Bear hit the wall in the chicanes here, and it unfortunately is out of qualifying, so had to start the back of the field for today to race short of disqualification, impeding that. So unfortunate to lose Huggy so early on.
Huggy, always a great driver, and I think everyone wishes we had his determination in this league, because though I think he'd admit his pace can sometimes be quite slow compared to the rest of the grid, he always gives it all, and he gets some points finishes. I think that's the main thing. If you're finishing in the points, then what isn't there to love?
Yeah, so yeah, Huggy definitely a popular driver in the RDL community as a whole. cars coming off the last couple of corners now. Ethan making his way down into the pit lane, I believe. PJ Caleb there in 5th place. And we're waiting now to see the next car through towards the line. I've just seen someone go over the line. I believe that was... I've missed it here. That was Curtis going over the line. P4 for the Alpine driver. Both Alpines on the 2nd row right now. Do you reckon there's still a chance they can catch Red Bull? I mean, there's only about 25 or so points in it towards the end of the season, so it could still happen for them.
I think Lemons has took full time in Red Bull, I'm pretty certain now, and we both know Lemons is a fantastically quick driver. So I feel like it all depends on if Ethan can keep getting the results that he's getting now. Ethan, when he first started, was always just fighting to get in the points. Now he's comfortably in the points. I think Ethan is such an amazing talent. And I remember getting a message from him one time saying that I was a driver he looked up to in the league. I think that was probably season 11, season 12. So honestly, I'm absolutely buzzing for him, and I feel like I think he can keep Red Bull with that points gap above Alpine.
We can definitely hope so. Give us an entertaining fight towards the end of the season. Of course, the Constructors' Championship still not over yet. Of course, Mercedes falling out of the picture, unfortunately, but it's still a battle between Aston Martin and McLaren. It's unlikely for the Papaya team if they can try and get some more points on the board, because the last few races haven't been brilliant for them. But if Fang and BJ get things back together again, I dare say they've got a solid chance at still bringing that home, as Lemons goes fastest in the Red Bull.
That's a absolutely stonking lap. 2-lap old tyres as well there for Lemons, so he might have invalidated on his first run. So 5 tenths above Grumio. Bear in mind, Grumio is on the medium tyres on the lap time. Could be quite close between them two.
See, that gets on. Of course, I just saw Legend spin there going into the last sector. Yet to set a lap time. He's invalidated twice now by the looks of things. Coming over the line here to start his next flying lap. Here comes JB off the last corner to begin his out lap. AlphaTauri still looking to get off the bottom of the table right now. It could still happen for them. And with Prol up there in 3rd, I say they've got a real chance right now.
9 points between Williams and AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri not having the best of seasons. You never know, obviously, with the team draw, you never know who your drivers are, but JB and Pro are fantastic drivers. Though I think JB struggled to get used to the cars this year, he's still doing a great job and can still rack up some fantastic points every so often.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'll come back to Lemons on pole position. 10 minutes to go still in the session, and I don't want to count my chickens too early, but of course we only had 3 pole sitters this season. Lando becoming the 3rd one last time out in USA. Could Lemons become number 4, do you think? Or is Grumio going to try and catch him?
I think you can never bet against Grumio. Obviously he's on a lap now on those soft tyres. However, I think if anyone's got the best chance, it's probably Lemons tonight.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing an insane battle between those two in the race. I think back to Takeover Racing League opener in Mexico a couple of weeks ago. Lemons almost had the race to bag until a late mistake on a safety car restart cost him the race victory, handed it to our very own C110P fan. So let's see how those two do in this race in particular. And again, like I said, Grumio's on a lap right now. As of last week in USA, the end of the race, he now leads all of the current season statistics. So is it possible someone to stop him? Of course, Che not here once again, so losing a bit of ground more in the Drivers' Championship. We're hoping that Grumio doesn't finish in the points. I think back to season 13, where Grumio, when he was performing as Blaze last season, still can remember the title, but left it a bit closer than usual given a few nasty retirements in the mid-stage of the season. Think back to Belgium and Italy in particular.
Yeah, I was actually watching that Belgium race not too long ago. Season 13, did someone in this commentary booth win that?
It might have done. I believe it was on my... I believe. Oh, he's gone fastest there.
Oh, that's a stonking lap. 3 temps above Lemons. Obviously, I think Mexico in particular, the track does develop quite quickly. So, I think, my personal opinion, I think Blaze has got this in the bag. However, I think that gap was going to be around 2 temps here. So it really will go down to the race. And obviously, it's quite a tight track with walls either side of you. A lot of people kind of mistake it being quite wide. I think that's just because of the length of the straight. However, safety cars can happen quite often here. So strategy will be a particular thing to keep an eye out on.
Would we say strategy is the key to winning here in Mexico, or is there anything more to it?
Oh, definitely strategy. I think obviously you need pace to make your strategy work, but I've seen people come from the back of the grid here to winning it by comfortable margins because of the changing conditions and how drivers cope with what we're seeing Blaze go through now, the S section. That is an absolute killer for the drivers. You have to be on it. You have to be concentrating 100% of the time. So I feel like if you can get your strategy right, maybe a 2-stop I think we're going to be looking at here tonight. I think that is definitely the thing that will give you the advantage.
Fair enough. Of course, we see potentially should a safety car or two come into the mix, that could change a little bit. We see Grumio into the pit lane here. Lemons coming through on another outlap, looking to begin another flying run. As of right now, only 10 cars have set valid times of the 17 in the field tonight. I see Fan is invalidated there as BJ goes third fastest over the line. And just a couple tenths back from Lemons in second place. So BJ looking like a threat to try and maybe snatch his 4th win of the season. Have to wait and see.
It's season 11. He was my title contender at the time. He drove fantastically that season. I don't think you could ever rule BJ out. He's probably the person that will defend the hardest on the grid, but that also makes it the most fun to attack.
Definitely, always a good battle with someone who can defend quite well. I see Curtis go 4th place there in the Alpine, currently on top of his teammate, race winner from earlier in the season, TJ. Prolol still in the pit lane back there in 5th place. Sniper Hunter on outlap right now. His best effort, 1 minute 16.286, so just 400 of a second back from TJ, though he's causing yellow flag right now because he's slowed on the track, trying to find a bit of clean air. There's a lot of it around him, so of course we'll see how he gets on later tonight.
He's invalidated his lap time, so I'm not too sure if it is validated his outlap or this is his second lap. Yeah, that is my Mercedes he is driving, which is nerve-wracking.
Yes, no, of course. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but there's a certain glitch during spectating where sometimes when the cars come around to their 3rd sector towards the end of the session, it removes the outlap thing. It says they're on a lap. So I've been caught up with that many times in the past, especially this season.
Oh, yeah. This is why you're here, mate. You have to teach me your ways.
Fair enough. I mean, not too much to learn. We just shout at people driving virtual cars week upon week. So yeah, we have our fun up here. And yeah,
I'm sure we will.
It's been a week of good, hard racing action. In terms of that race pole position, all 3 of our top 3 now in the pit lane. Curtis coming back into the pits. Prolol on his way through to begin his next time run. 5.5 minutes left to go. I dare say in a minute or two we should start to see the pit lane get very, very busy as everyone rushes out to make that final run.
Yeah, just in IGN Legends go to P8. I think we're probably expecting a little bit better from Legends. He is a former champion. He is one of the fastest drivers I've seen in RDL for all the time I've been racing here since 2019. I would probably expect a little bit better, but he's got time probably to do another lap, so we'll see later on in the session.
Yeah, definitely got times to another one there without a doubt. Here comes Sniper Hunter goes 3rd place over the line. 16.036, 100th of a second over BJ. So very close between those two. And speaking of close, in terms of those 2 McLaren teammates, BJ and Fan tied for 3rd place in the standings, 188 points each to their names. And of course, that's keeping them up with Aston Martin. Of course, Landlord took the win last time out, but of course, this season hasn't been quite up to the title-winning standard that he has displayed several times in his RDL career. I believe he's won 4 championships, maybe 3. I could be mistaken. I know Grumio has won 5, to be exact. Looking at number 6 this season.
Grumio has been really, really dominant throughout all his time here. He can turn up some races and win it, and then he can disappear for a mid part of the season and still win the title. Honestly, I would like to see, obviously, next season for someone to be contending with him on the new game. However, we'll have to wait and see.
Let's see who the new game favours in that respect. 4 minutes left to go. A lot of cars in the pit lane, so we'll start seeing them make their way out for their final runs in a few minutes' time. One of the cars in the pit lane.
I see the 2 Red Bulls, I think, giving a slipstream to each other there. Good teamwork there by Lemons and Ethan.
Yeah, good play from those 2 in particular, doing a fantastic job. My controller's disconnected again. It keeps on doing that. That's quite frustrating. Never mind, it's going to keep on doing it all night. I'm not using the controller anymore. Never mind. Keyboard it is. Right, so back to qualifying there. Sorry about that. I have to remember how to all the controls to this. Right. I wanted to talk to you about Websy. Of course, after last week's performance, scored 4th place in the last 2 rounds. So can we see a podium from him tonight? Because I believe he has one from earlier in the season. He's had a good year in particular, and no offense to Scotty Goldman here, but has carried the Ferrari points to some extent. 141 for them for this season, so not too bad at all.
Yeah, Websy is a fantastic driver. Though his qualifying pace may not be there, it's really down to his race pace. I think his strategy calls as well can sometimes be different compared to the rest of the field. I think we're seeing the McLarens really favour that different type of approach. But Wesley's been doing it season after season here in RDL, and I think that allows him to attack when people least expect it, and that's what got him those 4th places. And like you said, the podium earlier on in the season. Tonight it's going to be a lot harder. I think the competition's really, really tight. But like I've said, anything can happen around here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to a very exciting race in that respect. Lemons on a qualifying lap right now. End of the first sector, just 200 of a second off from his previous best effort. And we're starting to see the pit lane. Some cars making their way out onto the racetrack. Here comes Sniper Hunter looking to try and snatch pole position if he can. In terms of the gaps between Lemons and Grumio, it's about 3.5 tenths as it stands. So it could go anyone's way. Lemons is invalidated here. He's going to want to go again for another lap, but he's got time. And that's Grumio coming out the pit lane now. So he's going to make his way out for another lap in time as well.
I feel like there's a horror song playing as soon as Grumio exits the pit lane. It's daunting. It's daunting for every single driver out there knowing that.
If I had to guess,
carry on.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably the Jaws theme. If I'm being honest, if I had to choose something, I'd say it's probably Jaws.
Yeah. Jaws, yeah. I mean, my Phil said his brain is going off with Jaws, but it is a daunting experience to see Blaze out there. He's the most successful driver in RDL history, so other drivers are probably aware.
Looking to snatch another pole position tonight if he can. To my count, it's either 14 or 15 for the season. I have to just check the Hall of Fame to confirm that. We'll do that during the break between qualifying and the race, and I'll confirm that for you guys. 1 minute left to go, so not much longer for drivers to get round. I'd say if you're in the pit lane now, you've got no chance to set another lap. Courtney Goblin still in the pits. Fan needs to set a lap time this time round in order to get a start for the race. He's dead last right now. Only car who is in front, only car who should be behind him is Huggy Bear, who of course retired earlier on. So if Fan can set any lap time, he won't start in dead last. And Courtney Goblin in the pits, staying in the pits as he so often does. We see him briefly in certain appearances over the course of the season. It's like sighting something wild in nature, if I'm being honest. We'll see just how these last couple of laps go. Yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. I believe that is the Williams of Alvar who is just sitting there trying to find some clean air. Might be running out of time though, so he's got to be a bit careful. Grumio starts his final qualifying lap. Lemons is always only just under a tenth up on his previous effort, so this could be trouble for him. He's got 10 seconds to get round to the line, which I dare say he will without too much issue. There comes BJ. And BJ will just about get through as well.
Lemons weaving his steering wheel there in happiness to be just within 2 tenths. However, I don't really know who else will be catching Blaze or Grumio, should I say, here now.
Grumio is up a tenth and a half on his previous effort, so we could be looking at 1 minute 14 here, just purely out of the first sector. We'll see who's coming around to the line next. We're looking at Evil Scotsman, who's coming through the last couple of corners now to complete his final lap. We've got one of the McLarens coming through. That's Fan, who's invalidated, so Fan will start last for the race here. Evil Scotsman into 13th in the running order. JB next across the line. Oh, but he's going into the pit lane here, so it's calling an end to his run. P14 for him. Fan starts last. Here comes Sniper Hunter in 3rd place. We've got several spinners there. Legend spins off and Prolol spins off as well. Sniper Hunter stays in 3rd place. The 2 Alpines on their way towards the line. TJ first, Curtis in 2nd. And Grumio will come through to no doubt complete another pole position lap. TJ goes into 6th. Curtis into the pit lane. Grumio. Oh, Grumio's invalidated here. Is there still a chance for Lemons? Oh, Lemons invalidated as well. And I dare say that could settle it.
That was a crazy end there to qualifying here. I mean, obviously, as you've seen, the S section claiming victims already, and we're not even in the race. That is just shows you how hard it is to make sure you're pushing 110% through that S section. And then I think the most disappointing that I think we can both agree on is Fan. We know how fast Fan is. So to see him in 17th, be exciting watch to see him climb his way up through the field, but quite surprised he did not set a lap.
He invalidated all of his runs, I believe. So unfortunate for him. But yeah, we'll see how well he does in the race. It should be a very entertaining race indeed, to make sure to stick around for that. Legend and Pro are both into the pit lane here, but it's Grumio on pole position for the Mexican Grand Prix with an opportunity to open that gap in the Drivers' Championship from 35 to 61 by my count, which would be just over 2 race victories. It means he could, if that has to be how it was, then he could potentially wrap up the title, if my memory of the calendar is correct, he could potentially wrap it up looking at it, perhaps in Portugal in 2 weeks' time. So we'll see how it goes. But Gremio on pole position then, at least for now. They start leading the field to turn number 1. We'll have a look here at top 10 before we sign off for the break, and we'll return you for the Grand Prix. So Gremio will lead Lemons to turn 1. Sniper Hunter there in 3rd on his first night as a permanent Mercedes driver. BJ in 4th. Curtis takes away 5th alongside his teammate TJ in 6th. Prolol 7th. Webbsy 8th. Good qualifying for him. Legends in 9th place, and Alvar will round at your top 10. So that is the top 10 for the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix, which will kick off in a few minutes' time. So make sure to just stick around and join us then for the start. Welcome back then to the Mexican Grand Prix, round number 20 of season 14 of the Racers Driving League. A couple more rounds to go in the championship. We're moments away from lights out here. For those of you who just joined us, welcome along. I'm Zach RC, and with me tonight is former RDL champion Tusby Pope for the first time in the commentary box. Pope, I want to ask you, mate, what do you say is the key to winning here in Mexico?
I think in all my time of appearing RDL, I have not won. This is one of the tracks where I haven't won. But I feel like just driving at 90% but full concentration. You don't need to push every single lap round here. It's such a hard track, and like I was highlighting in qualifying, the S section is the most dangerous part of the circuit. You don't have to be that fast, but if you're 100% concentrated, you'll be able to perform well here. Good
stuff. Definitely looking forward to seeing if you're correct. If you had to give me a one to watch for the race, who would you say it would be?
I think it's got to be Fan, starting from dead last. Obviously, not setting a lap in qualifying makes him valid from driver of the day. However, I think he'll be the driver of the day in our hearts. I think he's easily going to be able to get points here tonight.
Alright, sounds good. Right, we'll meet off for the moment. So, the seconds away from the formation lap here, it's the RDL Mexican Grand Prix up next.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
So there you go then, Gremio lining up once again at the front of the grid for this Mexican Grand Prix. 35 points is advanced in the championship and no tail of around tonight to stop him. Pope, will he be relying on those cars around him to try and perhaps shake up the order a little bit?
I think most definitely. I think, obviously, we've got such a long run into turn 1. A lot of chaos could happen here. We're quite used to that here in RDL. So I feel like if you could just get out of that clean and take the lead, I think it'll be a very easy win.
Sounds good. Right, we'll have to see if you are right now. Here we go. Seconds away from the lights coming on for round number 20 of the RDL Season 14. It's the Mexican Grand Prix. 5 red lights are on for Grumio and Lemons. It's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Decent getaway from both cars here. PJ Khaled passing several cars in the run towards that first corner. Grumio moves to the right-hand side to cover off Lemons as they go towards that first corner. He's right there on the inside. Sniper Hunter does a clean route up the outside, trying to go towards turn 1, but Grumio's got away quite nicely here. Lemons over to the outside. They're going to go side by side into the corner. Grumio gives him that little bit of space. Lemons trying to squeeze through here through these opening couple of corners on the exit over the curbs there. He's still side by side. There comes BJ looking to try and take the lead. They're going to might go 3 wide here towards the corner. It's getting very dicey here in the race for the top 3. Going into the corner. BJ on the outside in the braking zone, trying to snatch the lead away from both cars here. He's up the inside for the right hander. There's contact, making the way through the medium tyre McLaren. And now here comes Lemons back up the inside. 3 abreast here. BJ comes away with the lead. Fantastic start here. Lemons falls out of shape. BJ now gains 3 places. He's gone from 4th to 1st within the first half a lap.
What an incredible start. I was about to clap my hands, but I forgot I broke my finger. What a start there by the McLaren. Honestly, that's what could happen here. I think this is going to put into Grumio's head that he needs to be a little bit patient now, try and get past BJ, but we do know that Grumio does have the pace advantage in the long run.
Yellow flag at the back. That's Evil Scotsman, the former champion, making his way through, spinning out in the last sector, recovers the car about 5 seconds off the pace now. Finally at 1 place as his teammate leads the opening lap of this Mexican Grand Prix and sets the fastest lap in the process. So Grumio has got a bit of work to do now to try and close down the Dutchman. And Lemons being chased by Curtis in the race for that 4th spot. Here they come towards turn 1. Looking.
BJ not using the ERS there to make sure he just saves that. I think ERS is so hard to recover around this track. There's only a couple of very heavy braking zones, so that will be a key thing to keep an eye on. Sniper Hunter dropping 2 places as well in my old team Mercedes. Will be liking what is going on in front of him, letting the medium tyres wear out.
Definitely, because he's one of the first cars in the field on hard tyres. Grumio also on the hard here in the Aston Martin. Lemons all over him trying to find some sort of way around the championship leader. Behind him here, Pro running the 6th spot. Good start for him so far. TJ running 7th, lost a place or 2 there. Websy in 8th, trying to bring him some more points for Ferrari. PJ Khaled 9th, and JB running at the top 10 right now. So as it stands, double points for AlphaTauri, which would be good for their Constructors' Championship bid.
Yeah, especially compared to the Williams. We have Alvar here in P12, and I think that's the only Williams here tonight. So AlphaTauri rubbing their hands together.
They're rubbing them even more here. Alvar's just got a penalty, so that's 3 seconds to his name already in this Grand Prix. Huggy Bear's passed Ethan in the race for P4, the race P13. Here comes Fan trying to make a move here. Grumio sets the fastest lap of the race. TRS now deployed on lap number 3. We'll keep an eye on this little battle here in the race for the 13th spot, which is being led by Huggy Bear as they charge towards that first corner. No DRS just yet. Fan to the outside on the left, going towards that first corner, and should make light work of the Red Bulls. They go towards turn 1. It's a very long run into the braking zone. Fan might try and take 2 cars here, going into the inside now for turn 1, into the braking zone. Huggy goes a little bit too deep there. Fans are trying to find opportunity here on the inside through turns 2 and 3 over the cross, just a little bit. And now Ethan trying to make a move on the round goes Legends once again.
Legends not having a good day, and that's a reset to track that I'm pretty certain just witnessed. So I think the stewards will not be happy with that. Huggy Bear defended beautifully there, both off Ethan and Fan. That's what he can do in that Alfa Romeo, and that's what makes him such an entertaining watch here in RDL.
Definitely. Right, back up front in terms of the race for that top spot. Grumio will start getting DRS down the main straight in a couple of moments' time, so we'll see just what you can do with that. It's a long main straight as well. So can the medium tyres and the McLaren hold up the championship leader in the Aston Martin? Will the Red Bull of Lemons have anything to say about it? Here they come down to the last corners out the stadium section and back towards the lines to begin lap number 4 of this Grand Prix. BJ shows the way. Grumio 2nd, Lemons 3rd, and BJ sets the fastest lap once again, trying to gain a bit more time here down this next straight before Grumio starts to close in. Here he comes now. DRS now wide open on the Aston Martin as they go towards the corner. Lemons trying to close in as well. No early moves for either of those 2 cars. BJ holds on to the lead.
Yeah, see, all the cars were nullified there, each being in a DRS train. It can be quite hard to overtake each other. But BJ had a stonking exit there, going onto that straight from 17 and gained about 8. It was about an 8/10 gap, which makes it pretty much impossible to overtake at that point.
Definitely, of course, the medium tyre is definitely helping as well. It's got about half his battery left as it stands. Like I said, the majority of the field have used about half of theirs so far in this race. Going back to his teammate there, Fan now around both Huggy and Ethan and into the 13th spot. He looks to try and chase Alvar now, who's 3.5 seconds up the road. So battling those guys has definitely held him up to some extent. He's got some work to do to try and get it back.
Yeah, JB making up 4 positions there, but his car just does not seem planted at all going through that S section. He's holding a little bit of a queue of Alvar and Cottony, so Fan probably rubbing his hands together at this point and trying to use all his power of that McLaren to catch up.
What sort of setup do you recommend for Mexico then, Pope? What are we thinking?
I think it's really hard to say because it depends what type of driver you are. For me, I didn't really care about the long straight. I was more about let me try and make as much time as I can for the S section. So a little higher downforce, but not too much to where it negates your advantage in the straights. And we've just seen Fan just set a fantastic lap time of 19 dead there.
Fantastic stuff. We've also just seen Prolol make the pass on Sniper Hunter in the background there for P5. So as of right now, 11 points going AlphaTauri's way, which should be enough to... Is that enough to move them in front of Williams right now?
Yes, 11 points would be, I think, a 2-point advantage then for AlphaTauri, which is really good result so far, but there's still a long way to go, 31 more laps. It does not seem like Sniper is comfortable in that Mercedes. It is quite a beast to get used to, but locking up the tyres there just a little bit.
The championship leader spins it, going through the S's, and that is a catastrophic impact for the Aston Martin driver, who slips down to P9 in the running order now. And with a lot of work to do all of a sudden, that moved Prolol up another place. 11's in second, and BJ now the 1 second lead. 3 of the 4 medium tyre runners currently running up front.
Yeah, BJ going to be absolutely ecstatic about this. No DRS for Lemons from now on, but like you say, that's dropped Grumio 7 places. That is not good for him at all, but for my teammate Che, who's not here tonight, he'll be very happy with that.
Definitely. The championship gap now down to just 37, or up to 37 points. And it will stay that way for the time being because Fan still has the fastest lap. We're trying to close back here on Alvarez within that 1 second range now. So he's, I dare say, trying to go for a move within the lap or so. And meanwhile, further back, Huggy Bear trying to defend from Evil Scotsman, who's trying to get the toe moving all the way over to the right hand side of the track and back to the left for turn 1. So the toe crucial down that main straight. Cottony Goblin there with a 5 second penalty as well. And back up front, BJ still leading by 1.3 seconds.
I think Prolol is definitely one to watch right now on the harder tyres, so he'll be going quite far into this race, probably around lap 23, I'm going to guess, to where he's pitting. He's only, how much is that, just under 5 seconds from BJ? So that he could be one to really, really look at for taking this race win.
And I dare say AlphaTauri could use the points at this stage of the season as well, but he's got Sniper Hunter contending behind him in your old Mercedes, Pope. Do you reckon we can see him move down this next straight?
I think you can never say never with this long straight and the use of DRS, but for Sniper, is it really worth it? You have to make those calculations in your head as a driver to think, is it actually worth making this move right now, or should I wait and save a little bit extra?
We'll see what he does here down this main straight. DRS now wide open. Prolol breaking the toe there on the right hand side of the racetrack. Scotsman gets penalty. 3 seconds to his name. That's the 3rd driver to get one tonight. And going towards turn 1, I dare say Sniper's closed a little bit here. He's still about half a second back. We'll see what it looks like going towards turn number 5. That left-hander coming up shortly. So we'll see once again. Bit of a poor exit from Prolol, but he's to get away just a little bit here. 2.2 seconds back from Curtis, who's on the podium now. So he's doing a fantastic job in the Alpine, taking advantage of Grimio's misfortune. Legends passing Scotsman in the back there. Those two battling for 16th right now, allowing Huggy and Ethan to get away.
Yeah, Alpine really taking it to Red Bull and the constructors here. So Ethan really needs to start picking up the pace a little bit just to try and get a few points. But if you see on riding on with Sniper Hunter, you can see Prolol's light flash on the back of the car, which means low ERS, and PJ's gone into the wall. Just very similar place to where Grumio lost it. Once again, highlighting what I've been saying about this S section. It's a killer.
Definitely, it's quite out 2 cars in the space of 7 laps so far. PJ recovers it without too much trouble, gets himself back in the running once again, but down to P17 now, so no points on offer for Alfa Romeo as of right now. Down the main straight up front. Lemons closing the gap on BJ. Will he get closer to try and go for a move? Might go late on the brakes for the corner if he can get close enough. He's within 4 tenths. I dare say he might be setting up for turn number 5. He's getting very close. He'll keep an eye on this battle for the top spot. Curtis 2 seconds back from them. No threat behind us. Fan makes the pass and Courtney Goldin for P10. We'll be hoping that the other McLaren doesn't get passed here by Lemons as they go towards that left-hander. But Lemons doesn't get close enough. Stays in P2 for the time being.
It's all starting to spread a little bit. The field was very, very close for the first 5 laps, and then I think Grumio's spin really let the field spread. Couldn't get my words out there. See, little battles starting to really carry on, and I think Prolol is starting to hold a little bit of a train now. So it'll be interesting to see what these hard tyres runners are going to do with the gaining pace of the mediums ahead. But those mediums will be falling off quite soon.
Speaking of mediums, PJ just changed onto him here, running at the back of the pack and over half a lap behind as it stands. BJ with a time penalty, and Huggy with the time penalty, and BJ coming to the last corner here. Curtis trying to close that gap here. It's within 2 seconds of Lemons, and he's closing it, I would say. Now this time Lemons is a bit closer than he was last time, so we could see things get tight going towards turn 1. This could be a lead change. Pope is going to go to the outside and make light work of the McLaren. Move Lemons up to P1, new race leader.
As I was saying, though, you can see that light flash, and that for a driver is the best thing you can see. But BJ cutting a lot of the curb there. That is definitely a warning for track exceeding, something that the driver does not want to see on their screen. But yeah, Lemons doing what I expected, making light work of that McLaren. That Red Bull looks very nimble today. And then we can see Fan as well in the other McLaren having a great race so far, from last on the grid to P9, overtaking JB.
Fantastic first stint from the McLaren driver here. Well, BJ looks to try and get the lead back as soon as he can, but he's falling away from Lemons very quickly here. The gap already about 7 tenths or so. So BJ may have just lost a bit of confidence there, having been passed so easily by our new race leader. We'll see what he does on the way down to the stadium section, try and close some of that time back. Yellow flag once again further back, and that is, I believe that was Legends, in the Haas, who had some kind of problem.
Yeah, Legends not looking comfortable at all right now. Something that I wouldn't have expected, to be honest. And we got another yellow flag in sector 3. Curtis, he was running in the podium position as well. It's great. That's a great lap there by Lemons at 18.6, but yeah, coming back onto Curtis, not great. But that brings Prolol into P3.
Indeed it does. So good points right now for AlphaTauri. Make that 16. There goes Snipe Hunter, bringing it back down to 12 points there. Sorry, 13 in terms of combined count. And Prolol being threatened by TJ almost immediately here out of turn 1. We'll see what he can try going towards turn number 5 here. But I dare say that Prolol has pulled away for the moment. Won't have to be threatened by the Alpine too much. But he's lost a place there. Sniper Hunter and your old machine Pope now onto the podium.
Yeah, really, really nice move there by Sniper. Utilising the outside of the track, being far more dominant into turn 1 than on other circuits that we race at. The train is there though, and I feel like this is definitely the battle to keep out on, especially with Grumio climbing his way up the field. Oh, speaking of, that's a commentator's curse. That's the first one.
Oh no!
Spinning it out there. Ooh, snap of oversteer.
I just missed it there because the game chose to go on a static shot of something I couldn't see. What just happened?
So, coming into the S section, I think his tyres just lit up and it oversteered the car. And he tried to catch it and it just sent it into a pirouette. It's putting him now behind JB once again. If I was Grumio, I'd be wanting to get off those hard tyres and probably do a 2-stop on mediums.
Let's see what he chooses to do here. It looks like he's trying to stay out, going to try and persevere with it for the time being. It would most likely take JB here down this next straight with the DRS back into possession, the ERS in full deployment mode as well. So look to the right hand side because JB doesn't open up the left at all here. And again, the Aston Martin making light work of another competitor this season. So move Grumio up back to P9, and with a lot of work to do here. He's behind Fan, 1.6 seconds behind him, and Fan 3 seconds off of Curtis, of course, recently spun out a couple of laps ago, as Lemon still leads up front.
Yeah, seeing Webbs here, like we were saying before, not the best of qualifying, but in P6 already. That is fantastic there by Webbs. Just taking it at his own pace, and he's on the preferred strategy. I don't think that's anything that any driver would disagree with. So he could be looking at another 4th place. Yeah, if he could get PJ and Prolol.
Be hoping to go one better if he can. Trandex Sniper Hunter 2 for third. In terms of strategy then, the medium tyre runners, they've been on those tyres for about 11 laps now, almost 11 laps now. So I dare say it'll be a lap or two before we start seeing the first cars into the pits, and JB spins it in the Alpha Tauri, recovers the car without too much issue, and I dare say he's lost an end plate there. So he's going to have to repair that, and those tyres not looking to be too friendly with him there on the recovery. So JB down to P13 now. That moves Alvar back up inside the points. So 1 point away from Alpha Tauri. Give it to Williams now.
Yeah, shame for JB there, but it's been what I've been highlighting to everyone watching, that it is so tough. And we've just seen, is that TJ making a double pass there?
Indeed it is, yes.
And Sniper Hunter. Wow. What a move there by TJ, but like I say, you don't have to go fast through that S section. You just have to make sure you are concentrating and keeping that car underneath you.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't say I'm brilliant at the S section myself. I mean, I don't spin there, but let's just say I definitely don't. I definitely wouldn't be playing on strict corner cutting anytime soon. We'll just say that. Sniper Hunter down to P5 now, so he's lost 2 places and a double whammy to both TJ and Prolol. He's got Websy chasing him too, so have to be careful and just see if what the Ferrari can make of the situation, because we get towards the end of that first stint for those medium tyre runners.
Yeah, I think the medium's going to start crying out, and round here it's a dramatic drop off with the tyres. As soon as you hit around 40-50%, you're going to start losing the pace, mainly because of the amount of tight corners that you go through. But as we're saying, Lemons 1.7 now on BJ. Still all there to play for though, all there to play for.
And look at that, 7 seconds back to TJ in third place, those hard tyres. Just showing you how good these guys are on those mediums. But we could see Prolol going for a move if he gets close enough towards turn number 1. DRS wide open, no battery to use, only got 5% left here. It's only going down as time goes by. Going towards turn 1, doesn't get close enough to try and pull off a move, stays in P4. We'll see what he does here on the run towards 5. Looking at a good exit if he can get one of the corner over the curb just a little bit there. Gets away with it nice and easy, and chasing the Alpine now towards the left-hander, but nowhere near close enough to try and go for a move.
Yeah, nice little feint there by Prolol. I like doing that myself. Can always spook a driver, but I think someone of TJ's caliber won't fall for that.
Fair enough. In terms of someone who is at a very high caliber right now, Fan running in P8 and about to chase down TJ's teammate Curtis with P7. He's going through the field very quickly, and I dare say, is it still possible for a podium finish for him?
I don't think you can ever rule it out, but it's going to be quite hard to get through all the hard runners on Asian mediums, and then once you've boxed, I was getting confused between pit and box, and once you've boxed, the hard tyres are going to be on mediums, and then you're in the worst position. However, I would never rule anything out for fun.
Definitely not. Right, race leader into the pit lane here. That is Lemons making a change on set of hard tyres. Good stop from the Red Bull crew, and he's away. He'll recover and put the car most likely down in around P9. Only car to pit this, so neither one of the 2 medium tyre runners stayed out. Grumio now chasing Fan down this main straight and makes light work of the McLaren going towards someone. Fans are trying to stay in the tow and not lose too much time. He's closing on Curtis now. He could try and see him make another move, but the championship leader now back up to P7 and chasing down BJ for that top spot. Oh, we got a penalty though.
I think it's... Oh, yeah, 2 people have just got penalties. I know PJ has, and I think someone else before. I just want to make point of Lemons boxing now. I think that's quite a tough decision there. I would not really want to pit before my contender, especially with how the tyres work on this year's game. And now he has to fight through Alvar, who isn't on the same pace as BJ. This could really not work in favour for Lemons.
To try and get through Alvar, that's too much problem on the main straight in particular. I want to try and gain enough time for that. Grumio now around Curtis, locked up a bit trying to make the move stick, but he's up to P6 now. In a very good position for the rest of the race this stands, because we'll still need to pit. So as of right now, Lemons in a net P1. We'll see who comes in, if comes to the pits. BJ does not make the same moves as competitor does. Stays out at 8 seconds clear of TJ in second. Prolol still there in third. Sniper Hunter in fourth. Websy out round to your top 5.
Yeah, I just want to got a bit of support here for Sniper in the chat from someone who I know is BTCC fan. Cheering on his teammate in another league, Sniper. So Sniper taking my seat and getting the fan favourites. He's really fell into the Pope role quite easily.
Dare say he has. I've seen your name appear in the chat a few times in terms of people cheering. I think back to Spain quite a while ago at this point now, as you were racing. Can't remember who it was. It may have been one of the Alpines for position, although it could have been BJ as well. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to look back on that later on and let you know. But in terms of that top 3 battle right now, Prolol still chasing down TJ for second, and BJ using that to try and get out to an even further lead here. But how long do you think he can go on those medium tyres before he comes to the pits, Popes?
I think we could expect him into the pits this lap. That's what I would be expecting. I'm just trying to look at the tyre temps. Tyre temps look not too bad, but heating up those hards is going to be quite hard. I don't mean that in a jokey way with the hard tyres, but Alvar's doing BJ a world of good here, holding up Lemons. This is the battle that you really have to see.
Keep an eye on this one now in the race for P8. Lemons now looking to the inside, going into the stadium section. Did he look up a little bit? I couldn't quite see it. No tyre smoke coming from the Red Bull, so he's managed to get around Alvar now, but at what cost? Has he lost any time to the current race leader? And he's got 5.7 seconds to fan in the 7th spot. Still on those mediums and massively falling away from Grumio, who's looking to try and close in on Webster for P5.
Yeah, I think we can definitely see the medium tyres now really running out of steam. 15 laps on them, I would have pitted probably 2 laps ago, probably when Lemons did, but I just don't think this has worked out for Lemons. Could BJ be holding out for a safety car, maybe? I mean, a lot of spins and a lot of yellow flags, but nothing there by the FIA to bring out safety cars.
Nothing yet, just those penalties have been handed out to 8 drivers so far, of the 17 in the race right now. Grumio, we'll see what he does going to the S section this time. He's spun out there twice now, so we'll see if it impacts him a 3rd time, because he's trying to close down on Websy going in. He's getting close. He's going over the curves a bit more than usual here. So looking for the DRS on the exit of the corner. He's going to get a good exit and try and take on the Ferrari going towards the right-hander. When he gets close enough, Websy gets DRS too and covers the inside quite spectacularly there in the Ferrari. Going to the stadium section now. Good exit from everyone in front. BJ slows out once again. And coming to the last couple of corners here. We'll see what Fan does as well in terms of pitting situation. But I dare say we'll see Grumio get Websy on this main straight as Fan comes into the pit lane.
Fans into the pits. I don't really know what BJ is doing here. From an outsider point of view, obviously the McLaren's been really good on strategy this season. But for me, I think he's just letting Lemons climb his advantage back up. Obviously fresher tyres will be better, but I don't know. I think BJ might have missed his pitting opportunity now. Back
on track here. Grumio is struggling to get around Websy here. Websy defended quite well going through the first couple of corners, and he's kept Grumio behind him for another lap. Hopefully trying to bank on happening a same incident in the S section a 3rd time here. But Grumio to the inside of Websy now, very close to him. Oh, he came very close to losing the car, but saved it. That was very, very tight. They came to blows on the racetrack. Grumio want to try and close it back in here. I dare say he's going over those curbs an awful lot. Could another penalty be in the offing for him? He's already lost 3 seconds on his race right now. Ethan gets one for himself. Make that 9 drivers who now have one. He's not getting close to Websy at all here.
Oh, it's getting quite rough between these two. Websy, as I found out in Singapore this season, is very hard to overtake, and he will not let it go. So Grumio Grumio's boxed. Wow, okay,
that's a bit early than expected. Different. Oh, he's got a 5-second penalty as well.
Oh, it's not going well for Grumio.
The championship leader running into troubles here in Mexico under the heat as he reached the halfway stage of the Grand Prix. Medium tyres now going on the car. Can he take those to the end, do you think? Is that too much of a risk?
I think, yeah, he definitely can. I mean, we've seen BJ do 17 laps on him, and that's with heavy fuel load. But I wouldn't want to. I feel like the drivers are making some weird strategy calls, something that I probably just don't see when I'm in the cockpit driving. But I don't know, this is not what I would expect from a typical Mexico strategy.
I see up front, in front of Grumio, Ethan and Courtney Goblin going at it. Hammer and Tong in the race of P8. The Ferrari's at the edge right now, but Ethan's going to try and close back in. He's got the DRS for the next left-hander. He's going to close and try and go late on the brakes in the corner. No, he's going to stay out, but play it safer. Grumio in front of Curtis, but locking up a little bit there. Ethan
not
now
quite there.
He's been all over the Ferrari in an attempt to try and take him for P8 here. Coming towards the S section. Grumio being chased by Curtis in the race for that last points paying position. We'll keep an eye on the Aston Martin here. He's got a front row seat for this battle while he tries to defend from the Alpine behind him.
I don't know if I'd want to be in this position though if I was Grumio. Got warming up medium tyres, and a bit of dirty air can really throw you off. And you don't want to get caught up with this battle because these guys are going at it there for these points. And Grumio does not really need that, and he catches so much in that braking zone. Wow.
Webbsy up to 4th place now, so good to see the Ferraris trying to get some more points. He's just past Sniper Hunter. Here comes Grimmy off the last corner, already making a move on Ethan for P9. He'll take the place as well, moving clear of the Red Bull now. He's got a massive run on Courtney Goblin as well. 2 overtakes in, 1 straight for the championship leader up to P8, and that is sort of why don't deny Grimmy
Ethan
anything.
going through on Courtney as well. Wow, I think that overtake for Grumio really did help Ethan
Massively
there.
yeah.
And then we see Curtis now on the 4-lap all mediums.
Could this be another
trying to
move
make
here?
his way through.
Courtney Goblin falls out of the points in one fell swoop there, taken by 3 cars in just 5 corners, and that's not what you like to see. Ethan going a bit wide there, and there comes Courtney Goblin going to try and take Curtis back on the inside, but Curtis on the outside for the exit, trying to pull clear there side by side, going to the X section. Someone's going to have to give here. I think it's going to have to be Curtis, but both of them still going at it. As you see on Tim P found the dirt slightly, and Curtis takes away P10.
Wow, these guys are really going at it tonight, putting on an absolute show for us here in the commentary booth and use at home. And then we see Sniper Hunter making a move up to P4, and PJ still staying out on those mediums. They must be crying.
And crying is probably a bit beyond the pale at this point. I'd say they're, I mean, I don't even have an analogy for that. 19 laps on those, and Grimio sets the fastest lap of the race here, 1 minute 17.1. Only about a second or so of his qualifying effort, so not too bad at all for him right now. I dare say we'll see reinvigorated Grumio during the second half of this Grand Prix on those mediums, but as of right now, in terms of that penalty situation, 8 seconds. That's the second most on the circuit. The first 2, Alvar, and I believe that's Courtney Goblin, who have 9 seconds to their names. That's tied for the top spot right now. 8.4 seconds for BJ in the lead. So while he's been on those tyres for 19 laps, he has not lost anything at all to the hard tyre runners. I think he's simply just expanded his lead a little bit less over time.
I think in a way, yeah, but that's not his battle. His battle is Lemons, and I would have probably defended that. I don't think anyone else is on really the pace of BJ here with Lemons. So for me, I would have just pitted quite a while ago now, but it's working for BJ, so I can't knock that. And Webbsy pitted on that last lap, and he's now just behind Ethan on the fresh medium tyres. TJ's in the box as well.
So Prolo and Sniper Hunter will take away P2 and P3 respectively. Here comes the Alpine team looking at their second stop of the race, and it's a good stop from them as well. TJ, no one around him on the exit. Alvar moving in front of him, and Grumio will too. So rejoining the 7th spot that looks things, but it will come out in front of that massive train with Ethan just coming into the pit lane here. So the Red Bull team looking at another stop here, and no one else joining him. So number of cars just staying out. Looking at this, by my count, there's only, if I have a quick count here, there are 9 drivers who have not made stops so far in this Grand Prix. So we've seen very few of them so far, as JB gets a time penalty for multiple warnings. So track limits in the way of them there. In terms of position change in this Grand Prix, so the biggest gainer has been Fan, who's gained 7 places, about to be 8 here, as he takes Curtis a particularly poor exit out of turn 3, and the driver has lost out the most as it stands. It's a tie right now. Grumio and Curtis have both lost 5. No retirees in this Grand Prix, which is always good to see after the unfortunate incident with Huggy in qualifying. He's currently running in P12 as it stands.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mexico can be a real demolition derby, especially into turn 1 off the race start and restarts. So it's nice to see all the drivers being clean and respectful, and most of the incidents that have happened, the driver error in terms of spinning.
Prolong into the pit lane here from P2, hards onto set of medium tyres here, so I don't think he'll be very strong towards the end of the race. I think I'm starting to see the gamble from BJ here. I think if he gets a safety car, he'll be in a very good situation, but I dare say he's looking at soft tyres for the end of this race, and right now it's only 13.5 seconds to Lemons in 3rd, so he's guaranteed to lose the lead when he stops. So this strategy may stop him in the foot ever so slightly, but as long as he can try and hold that lead as best he can until his first stop, and then run to the end on his soft tyres, I'd say he's still got a good chance of potentially catching Lemons and getting him back. And Sniper Hunter will go on to mediums at the end as well, unless he's also trying to go for softs towards the end. So it could be a different strategy for some of these leaders going towards the last couple of laps of the race.
I'll be very impressed with them both if they can do that. However, going on softs when you don't have a safety car and a late safety car means your advantage is nil. It's a really risky strategy, stuff like that, which is what I'm a bit questionable on it, but I've made a very, very, very good name for myself of making those strategy calls with a Tinky Winky and a party helping me do them, especially in other leagues as well, which really made me win quite a few races, especially on 2021, where I started on the mediums for quite a lot of the races, and we see Sniper Hunter coming into the pits.
Medium tyres, no doubt, on offer for the stage. Yeah, I do remember seeing you do a lot of alternate strategies in the past, to the point where I'm pretty sure I made a meme about it in another server, if my memory serves me correctly. I have to drag that up at some point. But yeah, of course, the alternate strategy can pay off in some cases, but a safety car comes out and that advantage is wiped away quite quickly. But in terms of track position here, it could pay off for BJ potentially. Of course, he's 12.5 seconds clear of Lemons, who's in second place now, thanks to both Prolol and Sniper Hunter pitting. Prolol, a good number of places between him and Sniper now. So Prolol, as of right now, on course for a good finish, but currently behind Grumio, TJ, and Prolol in terms of that running order. And we're still waiting for BJ to pit here.
Yeah.
How long will he go?
I think if he wants it on the softs, probably around what, 28, maybe 28, maybe at a push. But I still think those soft tires are going to burn up quite quickly around this track. The temps can be really, really hard to get. And is that him coming into pits this lap? No, it's not. I thought it was, but he's still carrying on. And Grumio back up into P3 as well.
And another penalty for Grumio just saw there. So by my count, that's 11 seconds to his name right now, and that really will not help his case, especially if we get a late safety car. That will perhaps wipe him out the points completely. So he'll be hoping that it doesn't come to that in his late stages. Alvar with a 5-second penalty that'll bring his tally up to 17 in this race for speeding in the pit lane. One of just two.
Silly penalties.
Unfortunate for him.
Silly penalties.
He comes out the pit lane medium tires.
We all know the limit. We all know the pit limit, so I don't like seeing people get pit lane limit penalties because it's so easy to avoid. But at the end of the day, it's happened now, and he just has to carry on driving and do his best.
Definitely right. BJ now, that gap is starting to close down a little bit between him and Lemons. 10.7 seconds. 10.6 now. He's gaining tenths literally by the second is Lemons as it stands. So I dare say it's time for BJ to come into the pits here. Maybe another set of mediums. He can't go another set of mediums to the end here. He's snookered. He's got to go for the soft tyres because the hards will be just too slow for him at the end of the race. So we'll see what the plan is and when he comes into the pits. It looks like to me now. Here he comes at long last. The final car to pit in this race. BJ, our race leader, into the pit lane, and Lemons will emerge with the race lead. And where it's going to be? It's soft tyres with BJ. It's like, ooh,
soft tyres.
That's a huge risk there. We've still got 11 laps to go, more or less. So this could be massive here. Grumio down this next main straight, so BJ would rejoin in P3 more or less, unless he falls prey to that massive train there down this main straight, which he might just do. TJ closing in, but I dare say BJ will come out in front. There he is over the pit line and back out onto the racetrack. If I look at the gaps here, he's got about 10-11 seconds to close in on our race leader before he can try and take a stab at him to claim his 4th win of the season. So Lemons on course for the victory right now. Grumio would have to pass him and bring out a, if I look at penalties one more time, you have to bring out an 11-second lead over our currently Lemons in order to emerge victorious here today. So it could be in trouble, is Grumio.
Yeah, BJ did take the medium tyres 24 laps, so he could do something very, very similar with these soft tyres, but at the amount he has to gain, just over 10 seconds now, it's going to be a really tough challenge for him. However, I do wish him all the best because it'll leave us with an exciting race to watch. Something that I'm looking at though is Prolol, a train starting to form behind him. Those last few laps could get really spicy, like the ones we see in Austria.
Definitely, of course. Austria, very entertaining race over the course of the season, and we had an AlphaTauri podium there earlier this season as well. It was JB who finished in 3rd place. Did you finish on the podium that time, Pope? I'm trying to remember.
Maybe Austria. I know they get taken out, to be honest, on the last few laps. That's what happened in 2 seasons ago. But then we see Courtney is that spinning in that section. Flag, yeah. It's a shame that for Courtney. He was doing really well there, racing his own race and gaining a few positions from where he started, but sadly not going out the way he wanted to. And the people that definitely do not want to see this track again for a while is the Alfa Romeo team. Really not having a good race there.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good run of form for them recently. No points in the last couple of rounds. If I have a look here just to confirm. Yep, so 4 non-scoring races in a row for those guys. They were looking to try and stop that as soon as they can here. In terms of that gap then, BJ trying to close it. It's down is to 10 seconds as of right now. So he's getting to work here. And to actually through the S, he's gained a couple tenths there. So he's doing a fantastic job. He's getting about half a second or so on Grumio. But he's got a long way to go now as he reaches the final 10 laps this Grand Prix. Lemons, all he's got to do now is bring it home. Those tyres will last until the end. They'll be done 22 laps on them when he gets to the checkered flag. Should he stay to the end on them. And BJ starting to close that gap now.
Something, I don't know if I've missed this completely. I don't know if it was from ages ago. Lemon's got 3-second time penalty. So BJ's going to be absolutely loving that.
You know,
because it makes it easier for him to take the race win.
You know what? I also missed that, Pope. So good spot from you there. Yeah, so Lemon's also got the penalty himself. There's so many of them in the order right now that I was just completely lost count of who had them and who didn't. As of right now, just 5 drivers who don't have at least one in this race. It's rare we see that sort of thing happen. We can get races where there are no penalties at all, and get some where almost everyone has them. So it can go back and forth with penalties in this league.
Yeah, it's definitely all about the track style, and this track is made for penalties. Something that I've noticed with BJ's pace right now, he's not gained much on Grumio, but Grumio is gaining on Lemons. So all in all, BJ is gaining, but not by much.
See how much he gains in the S section here. He gained an awful lot last time around. I remember he only needs to be within, as of right now, he needs to gain about 6 more seconds in order to win the race today, whether he passes Grumio or not. As long as he's within 3 seconds of the leader, then he's got this race wrapped up, unless he gets penalty of his own now. That's the crucial thing. He's got to close the gaps, but he's also got to keep within the confines of the racetrack in order to avoid getting a penalty for himself. So this could go not too pleasant for the McLaren driver looking for his 4th win of the campaign. I'm trying to work out where Grumio will finish right now because he's got 11 seconds to his name. So I'll go back on the interval here. We'll try and figure this out. As it stands, we're looking at probably around P7, maybe P8 in this race as it stands. So it could go anyone's way right now in terms of who finished on the podium. TJ looking at a podium finish if he can stay close enough.
See Sniper going up the inside of Curtis into turn 1. Using that DRS to its full advantage, and Curtis hanging around the outside. It's a lovely little battle between these two. Who's going to take the advantage? Oh, it's all ended in tears. Commentators, Curtis, I'm getting pretty good at that. Sniper Hunter barging his way through there. Not really too sure who was really at fault for that, but normally it's the car on the inside, so Sniper might want to keep it clean with the stewards a little bit later on tonight.
Potentially, yeah, I have to wait and see there. Of course, the stewards will be the last ones to have their say on the incident. In terms of the back up front here, the chase for BJ is down, putting it down to 8.3 seconds now to the race leader. So he's only got a few more to close in, about 5 more seconds here with these next 7 laps or so. So I'd say it's still doable for him.
Oh, massively doable. I feel like you said though, he has to be really, really nervous now on the track limits.
Legend to get a time penalty now. 4 cars who've got more than 10 seconds. Those cars being Grumio, Alvar, and Legends and Cottony here. So not the best of races in tonight.
Yeah, if I was racing, you'd see 0 next to my name. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, of course you would. You keep things to that, mate. Right. back to the mid pack here. This little train is still going on a little bit here. They've broken up a little bit more now. TJ being chased by Prolol. Websy trying to break the toe off Fan, who hasn't gained as much as we thought he would. Not to mention that 3-second penalty of his own. So anything he makes up here will be null and void towards the end of the race, short of all 3 of them perhaps spinning out. And Sniper Hunter back down in 8th place as of right now. The strategy hasn't paid off for him today, which is unfortunate. But we've got no penalty right now, so should Fan make a mistake, he can close back in on the McLaren. I thought I saw a bit of smoke come from the back of Websy's Ferrari there, but I remember this was a equal car, so they don't quite not quite the level where they can blow up in multiplayer sessions. So we'll ignore that for the time being. Prolol very close to the back of TJ now, perhaps looking in the DRS zone to try and swipe 4th place. But as I said earlier on the race, Pope, it's the sort of thing where there's another DRS zone coming up, but does he need to make the move as early as he can? Does he have the capability to defend from the Alpine going towards turn 5? We'll find out which way he's going to do here. Both cars using battery on the exit. I've just banged my foot on the desk there. That's not very nice. Prolol towards turn 1. DRS deployed, closing that gap a little bit, but not enough to go for a move into that first corner. Nowhere near in the braking zone for an opportunity. BJ now within 7 seconds of Lemons in terms of the top spot. Right now he's going to finish second in this race. Alvar passing Curtis. Curtis in the pit lane here, looking at a fresh set of soft tyres go to the end of the race on. Could he try and swipe the fastest lap of this Grand Prix and take it away from Grumio, who as of right now will be scoring 19 points in this race unofficially? That gap will go down at the end, plus the extra point for fastest lap, which will hopefully, from the neutral perspective, keep the championship fight still in with a shot for Cheolov when he makes his return, hopefully next week in Abu Dhabi. Sorry, in Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing Prolol here really pushing TJ to his limits, but something. Oh, I thought my screen. I thought he was going straight for a wall. Then that gave me a little bit of a heart attack.
I saw that as well. Yeah.
Wow. But I think for me is you can really know when you're going to overtake someone if you're within around 5/10. If the gap's above 6/10, DRS doesn't make a difference. And someone who has gone into a wall is Alvar. Maybe not the wall, but he's definitely span off track. Yeah, he's going to have to recover that. His tyres will be steaming hot, so Ethan could be trying to take that position away from him.
Come on, cut you off here. Here comes Fan looking to the left-hand side of Websy, looking for P6 here at the Charles World Turn 1. McLaren makes light work of the Ferrari going into the corner, but now needs to build 3 seconds over Websy in order to try to have that place for himself. I'm sure he'll be a bit more focused on trying to catch Prolol on TJ, perhaps throwing up their podium fight a bit here. BJ is currently still within 7 seconds. He's not gaining as much anymore as he was. He's been on those soft tyres for 6 laps now. Have they reached the end of their tether? Grumio is just 2 seconds back from Lemons, who looks to be on course for victory right now, short of another penalty.
Really, really intense last 5 laps here. More for the penalty situation rather than the on-track action, as the field is quite spread. However, we are still seeing little battles between P4 and P7. The train going to be emerging very soon, I can imagine.
Should Fan get close enough to Prolol, and should Websy try and stay with him as best he can? Yeah, you can be right. I dare say we'll be seeing that. Grumio really closing in on Lemons now. They got now 1.5 seconds, and BJ bringing it down to 6.7. He still gets to gain 3 more here in order to win this race. Or we'll say 4 to be exact, because obviously he's 6.7 back as it stands. He's got 5 laps to do it. Is it still possible, or have those soft tyres had their day already?
I think what BJ really wants is Grumio to fight Lemons more than anything else. That means Lemons could be losing time and BJ still could be gaining time that he has been doing already. Grumio needs to get as big of a gap on Lemons as much, so I'm not too sure to be that much battling. However, it will be interesting to see what kind of way Lemons goes around it as well.
In terms of passing, we're just seeing Prolol make the move on TJ for P4 here, but as of right now, he's not close enough in order for Grumio to move down into 4th place. It's looking like 3rd for him right now, unless BJ's giving him a little bit of trouble, but BJ is falling away right now, and Grumio seems more concerned with trying to take Lemons. They come up on lap traffic here probably for the first time today. Huggy Bear running dead last, it stands. 12 seconds in terms of penalties to his name. So as of right now, Lemons just 4 laps away from his first victory in the Racers Driving League. So we've seen we haven't considered that much today. Lemons 4 laps away from winning for the first time in this league, but Grumio closing in on him.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to get your first win in
Yellow flag.
And
Fan!
Flagged out.
Fan in the stadium section, no, retiring the car. Is there enough time for a safety car? He's in the middle of the track. That could be a problem.
If I was the FIA, I would be really flagging out a safety car there. That's a terrible place to park a car. I don't really know. That is literally in the middle of the road.
It's on the racing surface. Yeah, it's despawned. Right, so no safety car then. Very
wow,
confusing.
That's a really shocking call.
And gutting for Fan as well after coming back to the field after such a heroic drive to come back from last today. Frustrating that it's not going to work out from the way he wanted to. Grumio here chasing Lemons now, looking to try and nick the win on track. It won't be enough for him. He wants to take the victory unless he gains 11 seconds on the cars around him. BJ's soft tyres, I dare say they've had enough at this point. They're not gaining as much time as they were. He needs these two to hold each other up a little bit to gain those crucial few seconds in his final 3 laps of the race. Now Huggy should let the 2 race leaders through, and he will without too much issue.
Yeah, good stuff there by Huggy, good sport behaviour. But now we're going on to lap 34 here. 3 more racing laps to go, and Grumio's going to make this look very, very easy. That is An incredible sense of speed there.
Lemons is trying to stay with him though, using the toe from the back of the Aston Martin, going towards turn 1, trying to stick with him. He won't get DRS this time round, but so we have to wait until we get to the S section where Grimio's made a few mistakes so far today. So right now it's still Lemons' race to win, and BJ is really falling away here. There to the race over from that the strategy, the gamble's not paid off. It was better off going with just a simple mediums to hards at the end of the race, and that would have just about sealed the deal for him, I think. In turn, because he had enough of a lead to do so. As JJ gets a penalty for a 3 second multiple warning penalty there. So unfortunate for him. BJ there still in third place. He'd need another penalty from Lemons in order to try and steal this race victory from under Red Bull's nose. And Grimio's going to have 2 laps here to try and close up, or try to open up an 11-second lead. He's already opened one of them here. Actually, sorry, he only opened up 8 seconds to my count because Lemons has 3 seconds himself. So he's got to gain 7 seconds now in the next 2 laps. Is it possible? Well, consider it.
Yeah, you always have to. When Grimio's driving that car, you never know. It'll be tough, but he's already getting second already, so I won't put it past him.
We'll see what happens in these final 2 laps of this Grand Prix. BJ is more or less looking for second now. Remember, so even if Grimio can't build an 11-second lead, the best or if he can't build an 8-second lead, the best he can do is build a lead to be ahead of BJ at a full checker flag. That would mean he finishes in P2 today. After all that, a swap for the 2 cars in the front row. BJ, after the start he had in this race, really disappointing for him that he's not able to close up to these guys in front and try and take the win for himself today.
Yeah, I think that's the way I'd probably put it for BJ. It is really just disappointing. I think he had the balls to do something different, and sadly it didn't work out. But that's racing for you. Sometimes all your decisions don't work out.
Hopefully we'll be able to swing back next week in Abu Dhabi on the, if my memory is correct, that's the 22nd of May. So make sure to join us next week for that. Hopefully we'll have Pope back once again. If probably enjoyed tonight's race. A lap and a half to go here for Grimio. He's got 1.7 seconds on Lemons and 8.9 on BJ. So as of right now, still finishing the 3rd spot. Lemons a lap away here from his first victory in the Racers Driving League.
It's itchy feet at this point. You make sure you don't want to make any wrong judgment. You never know around there. Worn tyres. You're going to be on 22 lap hard. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Tyres. It's going to be really, really tough. If I was him, I'd be probably just bringing down the pace a little bit. I know what advantage I can give to Grumio, so let's use all of that.
Fair enough. Right then, final lap. Grimio in the lead, but on course as it stands to finish in 3rd place. As he gains another 1.3 seconds on BJ in 3rd. I dare say he could do that, but BJ needs a good final lap on those soft tyres in order to still be with a chance of a 2nd place finish. And Lemons here going on to this final lap, 1 away, or less than 1 away now, from his first victory in this league.
See Prolol in P4, someone that's had a quiet race, making overtakes every so often, but he's done very, very well and really helped AlphaTauri in that Constructors' Championship.
Definitely here, and there'd be a big help for the Red Bull team as well. These extra points over Alpinos, who have a total of 11 points from the day. That could change based on Curtis's points here. BJ, 11.5 seconds back from Grimio, is now down in 3rd place in the race. So Grimio come through, yellow flag in the 2nd sector. I believe that is for fans. I have no problems at all here.
For BJ!
It's BJ.
Has he run out of fuel?
BJ might have run out of fuel here. Grimio wins it on track. Lemons wins for the first time in the Racers Driving League. And BJ out of fuel, perhaps. The red light is on that McLaren, and he is coming round trying to bring it to the line. We will do so in front of Prolol here. It's going to be very close when they get to the line. Is he going to do it? Yes, he will. Holds on for 3rd place. Prolol gets good points for AlphaTauri in 4th there. TJ and we'll leave Websy and Sniper Hunter home here for P6 and P7. Alvar being passed by Legends here. Legends, where's he come from over the second half of this race? Out of nowhere to try and pay a points-paying finish. I'm sorry I'm talking over you here, Pope. I'm getting to the end of the race now. And Legends up in front of Alvar, who's going to lose all those places anyway, thanks to 17 seconds worth of time penalties accumulated over the race today. Very tight between them. Legends P8 on the track. Alvar will lose a lot of time here at the end. Curtis comes away with 8th place in the points. Ethan finishes in 9th, and Legends will take the final points-paying place there. What a finish.
That was fantastic. I don't have no idea where Legends came from in that race. Someone who was spinning a couple of times in the first few laps to finish in P10, but that's what you get in the RDL. Really, really tight racing, gaps really not being that, that far away from each other. Scotsman in P12 on his return as well. Really good results there and really good racing by everyone on the grid when it came tooth and nail.
Definitely, and the first victory of his old career for Ryan Lemons. We'll have to get him in here to have a chat after the races. We often do post-race interviews. So yeah, fantastic race there. And it'll be second place for Grumio. So as of right now, that'll be 18 points he gained in the Drivers' Championship. I don't have my phone on me, but I'll get the calculator. I'll whack the calculator out for this one here. In the meantime, the celebrations begin for Red Bull, who are on top today. That's their first victory of the season, no less. And it's Lemons who takes it for them. So there he is.
Well done to Lemons. Taking that Red Bull to P1. I think that might be their first win this season, if I'm correct.
Indeed it is,
so
yes.
he's really made a mark for himself here at the RDL. I wish I could have been racing today. But obviously for circumstances, but I've really enjoyed my time in the commentary booth with you, Zach.
And we definitely enjoyed having you on. Hopefully we'll get you here for the foreseeable future in terms of perhaps the end of the season and next season as well. And we've had quite a few viewers doing this stream, so it seems that you've been well received by our fans as well. Right, so going into the final results then, Lemons takes his first victory, Grumio in second place, 53 points the gap in the championship now as it stands. BJ in third place. Good podium for him. It could have been so much more today. Prolol in fourth. Great points for AlphaTauri there. TJ in fifth and a consistent finish for him. Sniper Hunter on his first race as a permanent driver, replacing our Pope here in P6. Websy takes seventh. Good more points for the Ferrari team to try and keep them in front of Haas, perhaps losing some to Alpine today. Curtis in eighth. Ethan in ninth. And Legends after the race he's had to come in P10. Fantastic stuff. Alvar in 11th, only 11th after 17 seconds worth of penalties he's brought up during the race. Scotsman 12th in his return. PJ 13th. JB 14th, Courtney 15th, Huggy Bear in 16th. Unfortunate for Fan there to have lost out in the last couple of laps. And thinking about it now, I've just realised that I'm surprised that I actually pointed out his Fan on the final lap, given that he was out of the race at that stage. So, again, confused perhaps by the decision from the FIA to not bring out the safety car there on the Fan crash.
Yeah, I think that'd be the talking point from this race between the drivers. We always have our opinion on how the race is dealt with, but for me, I would have been begging for that safety car. Add a little bit of spice into the race.
Fair enough. Any more thoughts on the race for us, Pope, then?
I think it was really good. Mexico can go either way. It can be really boring with the cars just being really distant from each other, or we can see nice little battles, and I think we saw driver skill really come through there.
Definitely a very exciting race indeed, and we saw a lot of ability come to the floor. I'm going to try and get BJ and also try and get Lemons in for a little post-race interview here, so bear with us just a moment. In terms of what would you give this race out of 10, but what was your favourite part of the whole thing?
Oh, I think the prologue queues, like I'm probably going to describe it, I think it was like 13, 14, where there's quite a five-car queue all battling each other. I thought that was really cool to see, and I love being part of that type of stuff. But overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10.
Fair enough, not too bad a first day in the commentary box at all. Right, so I've asked BJ here, we'll see if we can get him in. Okay, so we've got him, we'll come and get Lemons as well. Okay, so looking at it, based on last time, he didn't actually have a mic, which was only 2 weeks ago when he last fished on the podium in Japan. So we'll get BJ on for the time being. I'll invite him to the call if I can. So bear with me just a moment. I know how to do this before. Just a second. I have to figure out how I actually do this. Right. Let's see if I can invite BJ to a call via this. Okay, Pope, this may cut you off here. I'm not entirely sure. I'll try not to. I may have to create a little chat here and try and get that working like that. Okay, so Pope, I'll have you in there, and I'll get BJ in as well. Oh no! Just a second, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the race as well. Make sure to let us know your favourite part down in the chat below, because obviously I thought it was a very entertaining race as well. We had a great number of viewers in tonight, consistent throughout this entire race, so thoroughly enjoyed every single moment of it. And it's good to have someone else in the commentary box as well, so that's always very nice as well.
It was pleasure to be here. Absolute pleasure. And yeah, reading through the chat, obviously we got a Sniper Hunter fan, BTCC, really enjoying that race from the chat.
Yeah, definitely right. I'm still struggling to get BJ now. Okay, I need to figure out if this will cut you off or not, Pope. So if it
Okey-doke.
Okay, I'd rather not risk it, if I'm being honest. This is a bit of a unique situation for us here. So I'll look into this, and I'll see if I can find BJ on this little list here. I'm hoping I can, because that'll make things a lot easier on our end. Right. What is it? I can't seem to find him. Just a moment. Okay. Let's add BJ to here. Okay, right, so that should get them both in now. Right, Pope, you still there with us? Oh, okay. BJ, there, mate.
Hello, lads.
We just missed off Pope for saying that, so I'll get him back into the call if I can. But yeah, in terms of that run, a bit of a disappointing one for you there. Of course, great start, finished P3 in the end. Talk us through it.
I'm sorry, mate. Could you repeat it? I didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, no worries. So yeah, had a good start to the race. Fantastic start from P4 there, but things sort of went away from you at the end there. Only a P3 finish. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, my start was pretty good, actually. Yeah, my exit out of turn 3 was particularly good. That caused me to overtake both Grumio and Lemons. But I had no right to be there based on race pace, so I knew I was never gonna make it to the end, holding that lead. But yeah, at the end Blaze spun out, I believe. So it was Lemons versus me, and he was way quicker. So I had to do something different in terms of strategy. So I went long and went to the softs in the end, but it didn't help anything in terms of gaining positions. But yeah, it was just the maximum for me. Good result, so I'm pretty happy with P3 actually. Yeah.
I mean, you went very long into that first stint there. You went about 25, 26 laps or so, if my memory is correct. About what point did you start to feel the tyres drop off?
Yeah, about the last 2 laps, I think. They held together quite well. I was managing monitoring my lap times. They weren't dropping massively, so. But the last 1 or 2 laps on those mediums were bad, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks towards the end of the race there, but of course you gave it a valiant effort and came back a bit on the soft tyres towards the end. In terms of teammate Fan there, retired towards the end of it, not the best of days for him. Did you see where he was on the racetrack by any chance? When he retired?
Yeah, he already sent me a clip of what happened. He lost his rear out of the left-hander in the stadium section. Yeah, it was just unlucky. It's a shame he didn't manage to set a qualifying time. I think he had better pace than me, so it would have been a good result. But yeah, you just sometimes you have an unlucky day, and I guess this is one of those for him.
Fair enough. Right, last question for you before we let you go. In terms of next week's race, Abu Dhabi on the 22nd, looking forward to it. What are we thinking for the next race?
Oh yeah, I'm almost always looking forward to the race, but Abu Dhabi is just some average track, not really special. I think a lot of drivers agree with me, but yeah, always good to race.
Alright, fair enough. Right, we'll let you go then. Congratulations on the podium finish. Hopefully we'll see you back here next week.
Thanks, mate.
Congratulations, BJ.
Alright, so that was BJ. We'll get to see now if Lemons has a mic this time around. Of course, his first career
I'm rather
win.
surprised with BJ being happy with P3 personally. I'd be questioning my strategist view, but obviously he drove fantastic nonetheless. But I know BJ, I know how BJ can drive, and I think deep down he'd be wanting a better result than that.
Hopefully we'll be able to get it next week in Abu Dhabi next time out. A few more rounds to go in the championship, and it's 2 race wins separating both Grumio and Che right now. Are we still saying it's possible?
Yeah, I want to say it's possible after that result. I think if Blaze won, Grumio won, I think that'd be pretty much it. But I think Grumio may not turn up for a race, and that brings it right back into Che's favour.
Of course, the race ban from a couple rounds ago helped Chase Case a bit. He took full advantage of that by winning the race. But of course, attendance has been in the last 2 weeks, which obviously we won't question that, because obviously we're not sure about obviously what's going on with him. But yeah, not a problem for us. Looking forward to seeing him come back. I'm not getting anything from Lemons at the moment, so we may have to cap off the stream in a moment's time. Pope, before we go, you got any final thoughts for us for your first night in the RDL booth?
Yeah, no, it's really weird to watch the race grow above. Obviously exciting, and yeah, we'll be doing this from now for the foreseeable future. But nah, I'm very happy with how it went, and I hope everyone enjoyed it at home, and I hope you enjoyed it as well, being in this booth with me.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I'll actually have you back here again. Right, so that'll be the end of the stream, everybody. We do hope you've enjoyed it thoroughly, as much as we have up here in the commentary box. So next week's race, the 22nd of May, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Just 4 more rounds to go in this championship. Abu Dhabi, Portugal, China, and then the finale, the reverse grid race in Brazil. So, from me and Pope here, it's goodbye. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. And we're out. Well, that